Chiefs Kingdom, we got our first injury report of Week 5. We're going to go through all the notes in that, along with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes had their first press conference of the week. We're going to take away some notes from that, along with Randy Gregory getting cut by the Denver Broncos today. Should the Chiefs look at signing him? We'll talk all that and more on today's show. But before we get into that, I need your help because we need the Chiefs Kingdom to grow. And the way to do that, by subscribing, as we want you to subscribe today. Join the Chiefs Report community. We have pretty much everything you want, Chiefs content related, all right here for you in one single place. Make sure you're subscribed today. We're trying to reach 47,000 subscribers as quick as possible. Glad you chose to join us today. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jace Andrews. Let's dive right into the injury report today, as these are the three names: Matt Dickerson, Nick Bolton, and Jaylen Watson. Now, Matt Dickerson did not practice today. He had a knee injury. Nick Bolton, the ankle. Yeah, he was limited in practice. Finally back at practice, along with Jaylen Watson. Again, a limited participant, but he was there and at practice. And that's good news for Bolton and Watson, as they are both finally back on the practice field. For Bolton, it's been over 2 weeks at this point since he's played. And then Watson, after missing last week's game, back on the practice field. Good to see for both of them. And it really bolsters up, especially this linebacker room, who right now, it's really, really good. Leo Chenal, Nick Bolton, and Willie Gay are your starters. But Drew Tranquill came in place of Nick Bolton and absolutely balled out. I tell you, Drew Tranquill filled in insanely well. And I would have a hard-pressed opinion to say that he's not going to find some reps throughout this season. I think overall, Tranquill is going to be a pretty big part of this defensive scheme, no matter who is in the lineup. And overall, he is going to be used in a lot of different packages. All right, before we continue on with today's show, I want you to like the video. And, I want you to spam KC in the comments, as, man, I want today's comment section to be filled with KCs, as I got to be honest, I want to see how many KCs we can get on today's video. I'm trying to break the KC record on the Chiefs Report, so make sure you're commenting that today. All right, let's get back into it with Jaylen Watson. Again, he missed last game with a shoulder injury. Now, it was kind of interesting because he was not at practice, he was not limited at practice. He was a non-participant, yet he was somehow always at practice. He did walkthroughs. The guy just didn't play. Now, Joshua Williams was the guy who filled in for him instead of the 7th-round rookie Nick Jones. But overall, it's likely that we'll see Jaylen Watson back on the field this upcoming Sunday against the Vikings. And it's good to see because this quarterback room is really, really good and really, really young. And Jaylen Watson is a big, big piece to that. Okay, I got a question for Chiefs Kingdom. Now, all the Travis Kelce news surrounding him and obviously Taylor Swift, but I want a football-related Travis Kelce question today. So who is the better all-time Chiefs tight end? Is it Tony Gonzalez or is it Travis Kelce? I want you to get in the comments today and let me know who you think is the better all-time Chiefs tight end, as that's going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So make sure you go and chime in. All right, before we continue on with today's show and talk about Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes' press conference that's coming up, we got to tell you about our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Now, if you use chatsports.com/ChiefsBet, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus using the promo code Chiefs125. I mean, that's basically, you're buying one pizza, you're getting a second one for free, and a quarter of it as well. It's free money. Go use it, chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125 for a 125% deposit bonus. And heck, why not go put it on the MVP odds? Because I told you that Patrick Mahomes, his odds are just going to go up in terms of how he's going to be the MVP. So do it right now. You're going to get the best odds if you put it on Patrick Mahomes plus 550. That's great odds. Now, Josh Allen jumped 2-0 this past week after a 48-20 meltdown there. I think it's a good time to put the money on Patrick Mahomes plus 550. You're not going to get a better deal than that for the rest of the season. So make sure chatsports.com/ChiefsBet and use promo code Chiefs125. Okay, let's kind of dive back into this with Mahomes and his struggles. So today it was Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid at the press conference, and Patrick kind of started with recognizing his struggles to begin the season. It was kind of an interesting take, but he took it and said, hey, I know that I haven't played well. Here's exactly what he said. Quote, I haven't played very well to start the season, and if I start playing better, everyone will start playing better. What's funny is Mahomes isn't even really playing that bad. Like overall, the guy is really comparing himself to last year. It's the same exact thing through the first 4 games. There's a couple of nuances in there that's a little changed. Obviously, the interceptions being a little more up, the completion percentage being down, but his overall QBR, well, it's higher than what it was in the first 4 games last year. And do I need to remind you what happened at the end of last season? Super Bowl. I'm confused by the kind of slander of Mahomes of like, oh, he's not playing well, and Mahomes is buying into it. So I think the only thing I would say is whether he's playing bad or not, he's upset either way. Which, if you know Mahomes and you know how competitive of a soul he is, it's a career game coming against the Vikings. Because I just have to know. Like, this guy is upset. He's upset, and he's not even playing that bad. He is the 4th best QBR in the entire NFL, and yet for some reason this guy thinks he's playing like a backup. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. Now, again, 41 points to the Bears really helps pad those stats, but at the same time, I got to think with the way he's kind of reacting to this, the way that really people are kind of questioning, well, do the Chiefs need wide receivers? Patrick's putting it all himself. No, I need to play better. I think he's going to have a career day against the Vikings. Do you? Well, let me know how many yards you think he's going to get against this Minnesota Vikings team. I'm going to say it. Their defense, not that great overall. I think it could be a shootout depending on how this Chiefs defense comes out here early. So let me know in the comments today, how many yards does Mahomes get against the Minnesota Vikings this Sunday at 3:25? All right, I mentioned Mahomes. Well, also Andy Reid. He was at the press conference today as per usual, and, well, he got absolutely peppered, grilled, absolutely thrown a truck at of wide receiver questions. I mean, it was insane. Pretty much just the entire presser was, what about this guy? What about this guy? Why are the wide receivers not performing? What is going on? And as Andy Reid does, calm, collective, he said this, quote, we have a couple of young guys that we're bringing along, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. Now, the young guys he's talking about, well, it's Rashee Rice, Sky Moore. Those guys are going to get there at some point. It just makes no sense that people continue to ask, and he doubled down. He said, you know what? I don't think we need another wide receiver on this team. I'm going to stick with who I've got, and I believe in these young guys that they're going to build into that one day. Okay, let's move on to the Randy Gregory news as today. Randy Gregory was released by the Broncos defensive lineman, and this coming from Adam Schefter. A little bit of a bomb drop this morning. I honestly was not expecting it. Schefter reported it at about 10 a.m. this morning, saying that the Broncos are releasing linebacker Randy Gregory. The team wants to focus on young players, and Gregory will now be a free agent. Now, you kind of understand it from the Broncos side because, all right, well, they want younger players. They're not playing well. What's the point of keeping the guy on? That kind of opens up the question, though, for the rest of the NFL. Would you want this guy on your team? His stats are pretty dang good. I mean, yeah, he plays linebacker. He can also play edge rusher. It's kind of a 2-in-1 type continual. 19.5 sacks in 60 games is not too shabby. Plus, he's getting to the quarterback a lot at 61 quarterback hits. And 10 forced fumbles is the number I look at. Again, listed as a linebacker, but he's been playing edge for a lot of his career. Could he come in and maybe earn himself a spot on this Chiefs defensive line? I know Mike Dana has been great, but I don't think it'd be a bad thing to get an extra guy on that little defensive line. You have Derek Nottie as well. Maybe you could shift Dan at a defensive tackle. He's played that previously in his career. I don't think it'd be a bad idea to kind of explore the option, but before I kind of give you why I think that, I want to know from you, should the Chiefs sign Randy Gregory? Now, type S for sign if you think they should, and type P for pass in the comments section today. Let me know what you're thinking, because overall, I think you should definitely look into it. I don't think it's a bad thing because, again, he's going to be cheap. The cap space is really thin, and he's one of those guys that you could go out and make a splash for. And Veach knows this cap space is an issue, and it's going to be probably similar to last year. We're going to get a wide receiver similar to the likes of Kadarius Toney, and you're going to have to trade away somebody who's going to free up some cap space. So why not try and get a guy, sign him really cheap? I'd definitely look into it. Let me know what you're thinking. Again, S for sign, P for pass in the comments section today. All right, we really appreciate you watching. Again, make sure you are subscribed. We're trying to grow this channel as much as possible. And the best way, if you're a part of Chiefs Kingdom, just subscribe. It's easy. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. Press that little red button. Plus, you're going to get Chiefs content from the Chiefs Report every single day of the year, 365 days. Again, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. And we will see you in the next video. Peace out.